when you hear Donald Trump say "America First." That was a Klan slogan from the early 1900s. Trump simply resurrected it. It's a clear example of his racist attitude. And the attitude of faith is the very opposite of clinging to belief, of holding on. Spend some time this weekend on home improvement. Improve your attitude toward your family. I will not get very far with this attitude. If a person gets his attitude toward money straight, it will help straighten out almost every other area in his life. I look at Jagger and the like, and if I see a good attitude I'll admire it, but I wouldn't copy their style. You may not be able to change a situation, but with humor you can change your attitude about it. I don't like it when people say, "You are 45, so you should be wearing X and never Y." For me, dressing is about attitude, not age. Just because I don't smile a lot, people think, "Ah, yeah, he must have a bad attitude." But if you don't know me, you don't know me. That was the problem. My face is just serious. Contracts are not a holy relic in football. You can like this attitude or not, but it's the truth. Sometimes you have to think about if it is meaningful to try out a new impulse. For a writer, only one form of patriotism exists: his attitude toward language. The purely agitational attitude is not good enough for a detailed consideration of a subject. Now I'm strong, I can run fast, I can lift weights, and that in itself is quite empowering. To have that physical strength, it changes my whole mental attitude. For me, music is all about emotion and attitude. Pessimism only describes an attitude, and not facts, and hence is entirely subjective. Never refuse an assignment except when there is a conflict of interest, a potential of danger to you or your family, or you hold a strongly biased attitude about the subject under focus. There's always been something deeply disturbing about the Abbott government's attitude to women. My father instilled in me the attitude of prevailing. If there's a challenge, go for it. If there's a wall to break down, break it down. It is very important to generate a good attitude, a good heart, as much as possible. From this, happiness in both the short term and the long term for both yourself and others will come. The accounting of the sacrifice is, more than anything else, the attitude toward war memorials in our time. Virtually nothing is impossible in this world if you just put your mind to it and maintain a positive attitude. If you have fun and keep a good attitude, people want to work with you. Some people say that I have an attitude. Maybe I do. But I think that you have too. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. That makes you a winner right there. I have always detested any departure from reality, an attitude which I relate to my mother's poor mental health. Success or failure in business is caused more by the mental attitude even than by mental capacities. You can't start a movie by having the attitude that the script is finished, because if you think the script is finished, your movie is finished before the first day of shooting. All punk is his attitude. That's what makes it, the attitude. I believe that what is really important is that God can speak to us. If we have the humility to approach Him in prayer with the right attitude, He can speak to our intelligence directly. Being a part of Skechers is exciting. It is such a hip company with a great attitude and image. If a site is done with pleasure and a fun attitude, it's a great way to communicate with your fans. My attitude is different, and no one understands me the way my friends do. If you try to come off as this big-time star with an attitude, people don't like that. You've got to have the same attitude each day. You've got to show up to work. That's what I love from metal, and that's what I love from hip-hop. That's what I love from any music that's hard. That's got an edge to it, the attitude in it. It is precisely the purpose of the public opinion generated by the press to make the public incapable of judging, to insinuate into it the attitude of someone irresponsible, uninformed. Mainly what I learned from Buddy was an attitude. He loved music, and he taught me that it shouldn't have any barriers to it. Some of us pray demands. Some of us pray complaints. Some of us pray knowing, and some of us pray not knowing. But prayer's the attitude that you hold in your heart. A great attitude does much more than turn on the lights in our worlds. It seems to magically connect us to all sorts of serendipitous opportunities that were somehow absent before the change.